Hello all, my name is Krish Nayak and welcome to my YouTube channel. So guys, in this video, we are going to discuss about the reality of data science work with respect to what we learn versus what we do specifically in the industries. Now, if you are new to this industry, if you probably want to make a transition in the upcoming 6 months or 1 year, this video will be super important for you because this will streamline the process in your mind. So in this video, I'm going to talk about two important things. One is the common things and one things that may change. Now, what do I mean by common things and change, right? Whenever I talk about data science applications, see guys, I've worked in so many industries, right? I've worked with companies like Sapient, Honeywell, Panasonic, E&Y, right? In all these companies, I've developed different applications, right? So when I have developed different ML applications or deep learning applications, the process, the life cycle of that data science project will be almost same. From data pipeline, data collection, data pipeline to EDA, to feature engineering, to model development, to model deployment. These all steps will be almost same. Tools there also have specifically, if I probably talk about the programming language, I have used Python, I've used libraries like TensorFlow, PyTorch, I've used sklearn to develop all those specific models. Now, when I talk about the common things, these are the common things we'll be using everywhere, right? There may be in some companies, like in probably you're going in NVIDIA and all, there may be models that may be developed with C++ also. But don't worry, they'll probably create an API and expose it to your application itself, right? So these are the common things that you really need to focus on. So initially, when you're starting to learn data science or deep learning or machine learning, you really need to focus on these common things and become perfect in that. Like following the entire life cycle of a data science project, where you know how to use Python, you know about different libraries like pandas, numpy and all. Probably if you're working as a big data, know about libraries about Kafka, big data, Hadoop, right? How you can probably use it, how you can probably create an ETL pipeline, how to create a data pipeline. That all things will be common. What things will not be common, right? Because there are so many tools, open source tools that are available, paid tools that are available, right? Now let me give you some example what things may be changing, right? So let's say if I'm developing a project and I want to probably develop an end-to-end project, I'm deploying that particular application and I'm deploying it in multiple cloud platforms. So here, companies to companies, your cloud platform may change, right? Some of the companies will probably be using AWS, some of the companies may be using Azure, some of the companies may be using GCP. So this is the one thing that you should always keep this thing in your mind, right? I've just spoken about just one thing, right? Now I'm putting more points now, okay, with respect to this. So your cloud platform may change. Let me give my example. When I started working in Honeywell, before Honeywell in Sapient, I used to work in Azure. But when I went to Honeywell, then what happened? It went to AWS. So I started working in AWS. So for me, was it a problem to learn those cloud platforms? See guys, how we used to do the deployment in Azure, similar kind of platforms will also be present in AWS also. Only the name will change. Like you have AWS Lambda function, you have EC2 instance. In Azure also you may have something else, right? So the deployment mechanism, techniques may change a little bit, the configuration may change a little bit, but how the deployment usually happens as a common outline, it will be same, right? So always keep in your mindset that if you know AWS, it is not necessary that in the industries also you'll go and work in AWS only. Okay, this is super important. Now this was with respect to the cloud platform. Now coming to the second one, most of the time in the MLOps activity, right, where we create CI/CD pipeline. Now for CI/CD pipeline also, they are different tools. Some companies uses GitHub Action, some companies use it as Circle CI, some company can use Jenkins, right? So my suggestion would be that at least learn one, right? Let's say you know GitHub Actions, you know probably how to create a CI/CD pipeline using GitHub Actions. That is more than sufficient. If you're super interested, learn about the other tools also. But when you're starting to learn, don't think that I have to learn every tools. That will not be possible, right? In one of the company, I have probably used GitHub Actions. Some company I have also used Circle CI. Jenkins also I've used. When I started my career, I used to use Jenkins, right? So almost all the activities that you do while creating the CI/CD pipeline, the concepts will be almost same, right? The techniques of doing it will be dependent on the platform or the tool itself, right? So this is also a thing, very important thing to keep in the mind, right? I've spoken about cloud platform, I've spoken about CI/CD. Now there may be some other things, some other automated tools companies may be using, right? Let's say you are doing feature engineering manually, right? Right now we do EDA, we do everything manually with our strength, like when we are learning the process, right? Because while learning, our main purpose of learning anything from new is that to make our basics very strong, right? So when our basics is very very strong, trust me, when the automated tool will also come or any visualization tool will also come, then also we will be able to perform in an easy way. We'll directly be able to understand. That does not mean that an automated tool is taking up your job. It is making your work faster. One example is that we have visualization libraries like Matplotlib, Seaborn and all, but we also have Power BI and Tableau. That will also actually help us to create some amazing interactive reports, right? Now, why we may probably use Power BI or Tableau? Because we may get an amazing reports, which is basically taking with the updated data that is in the present in the database. And those reports will be published to the stakeholders, right? So always keep in mind that even though you know everything from basics, there may be scenario that in company they may tell you to use some of the tools so that you can automate your task and you can make your task process very smoother, right? Now, one more very important thing is that when you're learning, you don't get a chance to interact with many people, because there will be different people who will be working from different domain. As a data scientist, you have to probably work with the cloud engineers, you have to work with big data engineers, you have to work with product owners, you have to work with domain expert, you have to work with project manager, you have to work with your peer colleagues, right? So a lot of communication usually happens in the industry, right? And the most important part when I talk about is a data collection strategy. There, a thorough brainstorming will definitely happen, and quickly also you'll not be able to come to a conclusion. I've already told that, guys, data collection, feature engineering will be taking a lot amount of time of your entire project, because that is the place where you are actually preparing your data. Unless and until you don't have this specific data, you won't be able to develop a good project, right? So this is super important, guys, to understand, right? And don't worry. See, whenever you go to a new company, there will be a new process, right? When I say from project management also, you may be getting tools like someone will be following agile process, some will be following other process. In some, you will probably using Jira, Confluence to gather the requirements on all by the business analyst. There may be different tools process that will be used by other companies. But always keep one thing in mindset is that I have to be very thorough with one concept. So I tell everyone, right, to develop at least some end-to-end projects considering the entire life cycle of a data science project, and including an MLOps activity like creating a CI/CD pipeline, deploying it with the help of Docker, and making it scalable using Kubernetes, right? So once you do all these things, at least with one tool, at least with one cloud, at least with one open source platform, right? Because while we are learning, we also don't want to invest a lot of money, right? So that is the reason why I say that at least start with one thing, and then when you go into the industry, trust me, it will become super amazingly easy for you, right? And in industries, these tools and platforms will definitely change, guys. It is not in our control. I'll give you a scenario. When I was working in Honeywell, right, we used to use AWS, but soon our VP got changed, the vice president got changed, then we jumped again back from AWS to Azure, right? So this mindset should always be kept in your mind, for developing a life cycle of a data science project. In some of the companies, they may be using ML flow, because in ML flow you have all those facilities. You can see that ML flow is also an amazing tool, right? So this kind of tool will change. In AWS also you have the entire development of machine learning models in an efficient way, right, where you specifically use the GPU of the AWS cloud itself. So that kind of scenario will also come. If you probably go in a startup, they'll say that, okay, do everything, develop in your local machine itself, have some good GPUs, or use GPUs from the cloud, right? This kind of scenario will also be there, right? Or third party vendors who is providing GPUs, you can also use it from there. So this kind of things will change. So one very important point that I really want to make in this video is that always make sure your basics, whatever is there with respect to coding, with respect to open source tools, whatever is openly freely available, be perfect with that. And then at least develop one end-to-end project by using one cloud platform, one CI/CD pipeline, do the deployment with Dockers and all. Once you do this, then once you clear the interview, in interviews also, they will see whether you know how to do this. Once, they'll never say that, okay, we are probably using this cloud platform or that cloud platform. They'll just ask, how do you create a CI/CD pipeline? Then probably if you talk about GitHub Actions, suppose let's say they are using GitLab, then what you'll do, then they know that you will get time to actually get adjusted to those tools. They'll give you that initial 1 to 2 months. There will be a team that will be helping you out over there. So once you keep this thing in your mind, trust me guys, it will be very easy for your learning process. Now you will know that what all things you really need to focus on. So I hope you like this particular video. I would also like to request people who have made successful career transition to share your thoughts on this. Probably you are right now working in some of the other companies. What all things are basically changed, and what is the differences with respect to what you learned versus what we work in the companies. So in iNeuron also, what we do, we develop a lot of end-to-end projects, and we take the combination of all this kind of tools that are available, right? So yes, this was it from my side. I'll see you all in the next video. Have a great day. Thank you and all. Bye-bye.